All right, welcome back. I would like to welcome another guest honor that I have here in our studio, Khalilah Ali, or Mama Ali, of course. She's an actress, an author. She got a book coming out. And you hear the last name, obviously. She was married to Muhammad Ali, the great, from 1967 to 1978. I've been in a feature film that's coming up, Crossroads to Shaolin. Yes.
Shaolin.
And producer of Waldour Studios, our man, Mr. Stephen Nia. Thank you very much for coming in, you two.
Thank you for having us.
All right. First things first, I have to come out and say, you look wonderful.
Thank you.
You look absolutely wonderful. We were at the fight for Deontay Wilder and his fight with Luis Ortiz, and you were glowing inside of the media room. How nice is it for you to kind of be around the sport that your husband was in for so long?
It was great flashbacks. It was like living the life all over again. I had that feeling, the smell, the people. It was just like being at home.
Just like being at home.
Yes.
And for
but
you,
it was without Ali, and that was a strange feeling.
I could imagine that.
It was
right.
To see that man get up, who I chose to be the successor. He was there with me when I told him, didn't I?
Yes, absolutely.
And I chose him to be the winner. And but both guys were great fighters. And it's a time bandit to be in that situation if you've been in it all my life, you know, from the age of 17 to the age of 28.
I got you.
Sir.
I wonder about this. For you to walk around with her, to see the kind of reception that she gets from different people when they realize and find out who she is, what's that like?
It's actually really delightful. You know, first of all, Khalilah is a lovely, lovely human being. Absolutely a beautiful spirit. Yeah. Beautiful spirit. Right. And we love her to death. And to see people's reactions, the genuine reactions coming from people, from the heart. It's not pretentious. It's really, really genuine from the heart. It really makes me feel great. It absolutely makes me feel. And we're really looking forward to the book that's coming up, and to the movie, and to the TV show that we're going to do together.
In talking about that, the book that's coming out, the movie, the TV show, some of the pictures that people can see, obviously you have your own background in martial arts that a lot of people may not even know.
Yes.
But
I kept it on the down low because, after all, Muhammad was a great fighter. I didn't teach him any of that. That's all on him. And I tried to keep it a secret because he's a challenger. And fighters are challenging. I didn't want to get any animosity. So I kept it quiet as I could. With Bruce Lee and sneaking out, going to tournaments. And it was really tough. You know?
By the way, she was taught by Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
She was taught by the master.
Just sliding that in there, just kind of matter-of-factly saying that
we were good friends.
You have your own background in martial arts.
Yes, sir.
And talking off camera that you trained with Bruce Lee, who's another, really, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee are like my two top dogs. I have big, huge
trained by the master. She's trained by the master.
Yes. How did that come about?
I have been blessed. Listen,
Right.
I have been blessed to be around leaders, activists, politicians, kings, queens, ambassadors, dignitaries from all countries in the world. And I did this at a very young age. And I've learned from meeting these great and monumental people. And I was trained to welcome them and trained courteously how to work with them. As a young girl, we were trained that way.
Because you were married at 17, and that's something I'm assuming that will be in the book.
There's going to be a lot of details in the book, which obviously we don't want to give out right now. But there's a lot of very, very interesting points. A lot of really, really great historic events and points are going to come out in the book. Yeah. And her story is really fabulous. And our take on this story is to tell the story of the lady behind the legend.
Yes.
Because there's been so many movies already done on Muhammad Ali and his life and his achievements, but no one has done
the detail with me being a part of it.
Exactly.
No one has done about from the point of view of the lady behind the legend. Yes. And that is the take that we are taking in this movie. I'm very excited about that.
You know, you see some of these pictures. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's a good, I love the pictures. That's a great picture right there. I took him.
That's a beautiful picture.
I was with his mom, and Muhammad Ali and I were more or less structured as working together to get his life together, to give him the support he needed when everything was taken away from him, to be there for him even though he didn't have money for family. But it's not always about money when you're supporting people you love. And he needed me at that time. That's why I made it my business to be his guide and support, total support. I don't even like boxing. I do not like boxing at all. I'm a martial artist. I'm not into boxing at all. But I made it a part of my life because that's a part of his life.
I got you. And
That's
you
sacrifice.
have 4
The
children?
sacrifice, yeah.
That's sacrifice.
Yeah.
4 children with
4
Muhammad?
beautiful children, Miriam, the twins, Rashida and Jamila, and my son, Muhammad Ali, the junior.
Junior.
Yeah.
Junior.
All
Now,
beautiful children.
Oh,
They're all
that's
beautiful in their hearts, and most of them are married and happily with good husbands, and it's just been a great life working with Muhammad Ali as a young girl. A lot of my advice that I gave him, the most important advice I gave him is what you heard mostly about him.
got you.
And a lot of words that he would say, it came from my mouth. But it was intended to be that way. I gave him that advice for that purpose.
Got you.
And he was a good family person, and he loved the children. He loved all children. But he said, I'll hold you for 10 minutes, but then you take them.
You got to go back to your mama.
But, a part of the civil rights movement, the age of the controversy around Muslims in America back in those days, it was a lot of controversy. We was a nation living in a nation. And we were trained a certain way. And the women and girls were trained, the boys and girls was trained a certain way. And the book is all about that training. And when you are learning about life, there's a lot of things that young girls today and boys are not trained to do. And they should be trained in these areas to be better men and women. This kind of training is left out in the public. So Muslim girls or Jewish girls or Catholic girls, they're all trained a certain way to be a better individual, a better parent, for the future. These people are not thinking about getting married these days.
No.
And that's not a good thing because God's meant for us to reproduce. And God has meant for us to be together and to form children to make us a better people. You know what? You have Stan Lee, right?
Stan Lee?
Yeah.
What
from Marvel,
Okay, yeah.
Well,
creator
I'm
of
similar
Marvel
to
character.
Stan Lee. I've thought about things like Stan Lee. You think about it. I created my own comics, HC Comics, yes. And I would like to produce stories under the HC Comics for our future children so they can learn to better their character. That's my whole main objective in life, is to better our children's character.
I like that. I wonder about this. How did you two hook up?
Oh, it was a
that's a beautiful story.
Oh,
We'll
you
tell
wanna
you.
tell it?
Huh?
You want to tell it?
You go ahead.
A little bit?
Someone tell
It's
it.
Well, my manager.
It's
he's
a
way
beautiful,
over there.
beautiful
my
story
manager's
because-
way over there.
We're not on camera. They can't
He's
tell the
not
story.
like
You guys,
Because the whole thing happened by absolutely lined up in the universe, right? It's a universal lineup.
Universal lineup.
The way Tony and I met was in an elevator coming down. Neither one of us were supposed to be in that elevator, but we ended up in that elevator. We came down. By the time we were on the lobby level, we were in a hotel in Beverly Hills. By the time we got to the lobby level, we already had exchanged so much thoughts in that few seconds that once we landed, we knew already we're going to work together, and we knew already that we're going to have Khalilah as a part of this entire venture together with us. This entire thing happened.
I didn't see that coming.
Really, it really, really happened just like that.
So it was you, Tony, and Khalilah.
Khalilah wasn't there at the time.
she
It
wasn't
was
there.
just
No,
me
wasn't
and
there.
Tony,
just you and
and then we went to Khalilah after
Okay.
that. So it was really one of those.
People that don't know, Tony is with Khalilah.
And I met Tony
Yes.
through the
And-
Camachos.
Right.
I met Tony through the Camachos.
Okay.
Macho
And-
Camacho and his son.
Yeah.
But me
And you mentioned
Yeah.
Camacho.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing was that when we were in the elevator, we were talking about this Crossroads to Shaolin, the movie.
Yes.
And he comes out and he says, I have a deal with Camacho Sr. For the life story. I said, what are you talking about? I have a deal with Camacho Jr. to be in the movie.
Wow.
He said, are you kidding me? I said, no. So next morning, we said, okay, we're gonna have breakfast in the following morning. Next morning, we go to breakfast. We both bring our papers just to show that we are really for real.
For real.
And
Wow.
we couldn't believe it, you
Wow.
know? He has a deal with the senior. I have a deal with the junior. And we both love Khalilah. We wanna do this whole,
Gotcha.
you know, so that's how it all
I couldn't
started. And
believe
that's
it.
how
I
it's
heard all that. I
really
didn't believe
amazing,
it.
Yeah,
amazing
that's
the
a
way it
great
happened.
chance meeting. So the movie and the book, are they both called Crossroads to Shaolin?
No,
or
no,
just
no, no,
the
no,
movie?
no, no.
That's
These are
separate.
separate. The Mama Ali series,
Okay.
which is going to include the book, is going to include the movie and this movie about the life of Khalilah and Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
That's a different movie.
Okay.
These are Mama Ali series that we are creating, and while that's brewing, she's going to be part of our one of the artists, one of the actors in the Crossroads
Yeah.
to Shaolin film, which we are producing in 2020.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And you know, my
And-
first film I did was with Jane Fonda and Michael Douglas and Jack Lemmon in the movie China Syndrome in 1978.
I did see that you had the
Yeah.
IMBD.
Yeah,
Right.
IMDb. Yeah, I've been a Screen Actors Guild for a long, very long time. I did even Michael Jackson sequences on CBS. I've done a lot of acting, but my best teacher, Jane Fonda and I worked
Jane
with.
Fonda.
We're activists together. We're friends and activists. We're always protesting about something. So back in the day, we protested about with my beautiful brother, and he called me sister. I call him brother. Cesar Chavez, and Cesar Chavez was working with the farm workers
Not
of
the
America.
botcher, but the one that's it was in
the
California.
Mexican.
Yes.
He's the Martin Luther King of
Yes,
Mexico
yes.
and Mexicans, and we worked together to stop the poor payment of the farm workers. But most importantly, it was very successful. We boycotted Chiquita Benez for 40 years, and until they got the right to payment in workers. So then after that, Jane said, you know what, you're so beautiful, you helped me out, we're so successful, Khalilah, I would love to do a movie with you. And I said, you know what, just call me on the phone. So when she said that, she's a woman of her word, I started preparing myself. So I called Dusin Hoffman, who was a friend of mine.
So I called Dusin Hoffman.
I just
Continue. So I called Dusin Hoffman.
Dustin, I gotta prepare myself for this acting thing because Jane Fonda's gonna put me in. I know she's gonna
Jane
call
Fonda's
me.
gonna
I
put
want
me
to.
in
I said I want to be prepared, and she said, he said, well, if he's still alive, Lee Strasberg is your best bet. He's taught Brando, and I said, oh, cool. So I went down to
Just
the
Brando.
office, and Brando, and you know, many others, De Niro, and everything. I said, oh, that's good.
Never
company.
heard of him.
Yeah, I never heard of Lee Strasberg.
Yeah.
So then I was sitting on a boat with Irwin Allen, the producer of The Presiding Adventure. We was just sitting on the boat, and I was watching. Said, "This is pretty good layout. I think I'm gonna try this acting thing." So I went directly and studied under Lee Strasberg. I have a beautiful story about that. And Lee and I became good friends. You know Lee Strasberg, who he is, right?
No.
She's one of
Did
the
you ever
most-
see the Godfather movies? Remember Hyman Roth?
Yes, that's him.
That's him.
He passed away within this past
Yes,
year,
he
didn't he?
did.
Yes,
did.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Great man. But anyway, he taught me, and I did it, and we had a good time.
And the rest is, as they
And
say,
the rest is history.
So now you see how many details, how many beautiful details are going to come out in this book.
It's gonna be
As she's
great.
talking just for 5 minutes.
No, I know.
You see,
I'm
all
intrigued.
these things are coming
I'm
out,
intrigued.
and every one of these has a huge story behind it.
As
So
a matter of fact, in the China Syndrome, Jane Fonda was an anchor person.
she looked a lot better than I do now.
Michael
But I
Douglas
gotta
was
know.
the cameraman,
Oh wow,
and
wow.
I
You were another anchor or
was
reporter?
the director in the newsroom.
Wow.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep, that was me.
I like that. I like that.
And you know what? They took me, they said, you're really good at this. This guy named Alan took me on a real set in a newsroom and watched an Afro-American sister named Margot actually do that directing in a newsroom, because most of the direction is not too much talk, but a lot of hand movements.
Well, that and nowadays a lot of camera movements. We have our director Daphne's in there right now making us look good.
There you go.
Yeah,
they're the masters of making you look good.
Well, they try to do that.
They try.
It's a tough job. It's a tough job. So I need everyone to know the name of the book will be
The Untold Story.
The Untold Stories.
You know what? I'm the one that was in the trenches with Ali during the tough times.
Yes.
I'm the only wife that was in the trenches.
Got you.
This is before the gold diggers and stuff.
Yeah, that's the Chicago in you. I can see that already.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to say that, but the rest of the wives were gold diggers. Anyway, so that's a story within itself right there.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's no harm done. I forgive all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
You have a big heart.
I have a big heart.
Big heart.
Yeah, I have a good heart.
And a big smile as well.
Absolutely.
So, okay, and the name of the movie.
Crossroads to Shaolin, just so that, just for the audience, Crossroads to Shaolin, story of a young American boxer
Okay.
who cannot really reach his goal and cannot find his real identity. And through study of the Shaolin temple and the Shaolin culture and the discipline which you've gone through,
Absolutely.
he learns how to become a new warrior. He discovers himself and really elevates himself to become the world champion. It's a very, very inspirational, inspirational story, and it's close to home. It's
close to
boxing, and it's a great story.
Also in my story, I sacrificed a lot. Being a young girl, graduating valedictorian out of high school, wanted to go to college and everything. And
You got married at 17, right?
Sacrificed not going to college and married him. When I divorced him, I went to college. And just 2 years ago, year and a half ago, I became a doctor of theology
Excuse me.
and
Okay.
humane letters. That shows you're never too old to learn.
Great.
And I was the first and only Muslim graduate from a Christian university,
Wow.
Christian Southern University of Indiana.
All that at the age of 50.
No, 60. I was in my 60s.
All right, so everyone knows Dr. Khalilah Ali,
Khalilah
Mama Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coming in. I
I saw,
appreciate
you know what?
that.
I did do one book of publication already.
Okay.
I wrote a book about color to learn. It's about children and adults learning etiquettes and building their character
Okay.
and manners. That's already out.
Okay, that's already out. So one more time,
Color to learn.
Color to learn.
Just go to mamaali.com and you can get it online.
MamaAli.com. Stephen Nia of Waldour
Studios.
Studios, yes, we'll be producing the movie, working with Khalilah Ali.
I want to thank you for bringing me on. I think you're a great host.
Say that one more time.
I think you're a great.
Stop. Thank you very much.
He gave me a few dollars to
there
say
you
that,
go.
ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you too for coming in. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.